Well, there's probably a better way to do this. That wasn't it.
Buzz.
Well, I just came up on the roof to check on the bees, and look what I found. A giant friggin' swarm on the side of this colony. They actually boil over here, or that's a second one. So they're all settled in there, you know. I'm gonna try to find the queen and capture them, but that looks challenging right there. We'll see what happens. So here we are. I don't know if this is two swarms, this one here and this pretty big one here. They're thin, but they're pretty wide. Or if it's a single swarm and they kind of ran out of space. I kind of think it's two different swarms. And I'm very curious because I only had, I think, one queen-right colony up here. So it takes a queen to swarm unless it could be a virgin swarm. I think that's pretty unlikely. But see if we can get a good look at this one and the top here too. So the trick here, yeah, you guys can now see this whole side is covered with bees. Oh my gosh. It's probably about 6:30 on Saturday night, but I got to try to find a way to get them in a hive because I don't trust them to stay. So the trick is going to be this first one, the first trick. There's going to be several. I think my plan is to try to get these guys straight down into a box, but in order to do that, I've got to move this and without disturbing them. So that's what we're going to try to do now. And I think they will, there's a few bees there. I think if I sit them there, and I think I need to, just in case the wind comes up, maybe hold them in place with something. This old hive body will probably work here. They are down on the ground, out of the way. So now I'll try to get this next set of boxes set up to get this swarm captured. It's really a kind of a difficult place to capture them. So we'll see. My plan, my tentative plan, is to get two boxes right below them and then brush them in. We'll see if that's going to work. I would love to find the queen and put her in a clip, but she's going to be buried in here somewhere. Gosh, it's so big. And I can't shake them into my bucket. That just would not work with this. That's my preferred method, is to shake them into a bucket. So I've got to loosen this ratchet strap over here and try to get it off without disturbing this cluster here. And I'm really not sure how that's going to work. If I was like, I think her name is Erica Thompson, that TikTok woman who uses her hands and scoops them, but in my experience, when it's chilly like this, they are not in as good a mood as they would be otherwise. So I am going to see if I can't gently do the same thing with my gloves. Oh, and I'm going to get a queen clip out and have that handy. All right, so where do I start? I think I just start in the middle. We'll see how this goes. I'm just very gently running my hand up along the back of the box And then I'm going to just pull out a handful of bees. Hopefully you can see that. That's a pretty good handful. And I'm just going to gently lay them in here. Now it smells like bees down there. That's why I put those 2 combs in there. So I think what they'll do is climb up on those combs that are there. I'm just taking a glance, looking for the queen. I'm going to try to get another handful from the other side here. If I move really gently, I just poured them in. You can see I got bees all over my hands.
That smells like bees down there, so let's see here. Where are you, queen?
They're covering those frames that have comb on them. So they look like this. I have about 3 frames that have nice, beautiful wax on them like that. So they like that, and I'll add more, but I need space for them to be able to crawl down too. So here goes nothing. That's nice. I can tell you that they are getting a little irritated with me right now, as I think I would be if I was them. I got a few of them running into my veil. But for the most part, they are behaving quite nicely. And you can see they're staying down in the box, which is really nice. I am pushing the frames together, to make room for another frame over here. And there's so many bees, I'll let go of it and see how it's just supported by the bees underneath it. It will just sink very slowly as they move out of the way. So they're doing great. Got to get the rest of them in there. I'm not sure how to do that. Now their numbers are small enough that it's hard to get them in handfuls. So I also do not have a lid for this. I figured I would work that out as I went. I believe I'm going to use this. It's a screen bottom board. It's actually a screen divider board. Set up for splits. Got a small opening in the top. And screen, sometimes you can put a screen on both sides. I can give them I don't really want them to have an upper entrance. There's not many left. So that's a lot of bees. It's probably 6+ frames of bees, and those frames are empty. So if they were filled with comb, it would be an even bigger, it would fill up even more of it. Never saw the queen. So I think that they're good. I only want them to use the lower opening, so I'll just take tape. This blue tape they have a harder time chewing through. Regular construction, regular masking tape, they'll go through like nobody's business, but this blue tape, a little higher quality, it takes them a little bit to get through it. So that'll close off that opening, and I don't particularly want them to deal with getting stuck, so I'll put a little bit on the sticky side there. And that side is going to go up. It's just going to keep bees from coming in from the outside, really. Usually, if you just let it down nice and slow, they get out of the way. And that's exactly what they did. I eased it down, they got out of the way. So now I need to cover that up. So that's that. These guys will eventually smell that. I may help them out a little bit. That seems to have worked out. There are almost no bees left, just a handful. And they're all spread out. If the queen were there would be a ball of them. So I know I got the queen. She's in here. They are all tucked in nicely. So now I have to deal with the guys that are still, the ladies, that are still on this board. And there are not very many bees here. I don't know how many that is. It's like 1,000 bees or something maybe. It's a very small little cluster. It might have a virgin queen. It might have I don't know. Sometimes virgin queen swarms are smaller. Anyway, I'm basically out of gear. So my plan is to use this it's a 5-frame nuke, and I've shrunk it to 3 frames. And I'm going to knock them in there and put a lid on. If I get the queen, they'll stay. So wish me luck here. I want to not squish any. Well, there's probably a better way to do this, and I can't think of it. That wasn't it. Let's try gently getting them down there like we did before. Not really much to it. That was pretty easy. There's not very many bees. I did not see a queen, but it's kind of hard. I'm not looking super carefully. So they're all off the board. And they're in the hive. And there's a big pile of bees. So like before, I'll set that down and it'll gradually sink as they get out of the way. And I think that's going to be the right size box for them, very small. There we have it. These guys are in there. They seem perfectly happy staying in there. There's a few that flew back. I'll try to convince them to get down in there with their buddies. I think I'll face this out like this, because that's the direction they were and that's the opening. A colony this big only needs a tiny little opening, so that'll be plenty. They'll fan and then the rest of these guys will find their way.